Hello, good morning. My name is Eva Mestre, and I'm going to give you a short introduction on English for specific purposes, also known as ESP. When we talk about English for specific purposes, we're usually talking about courses, English courses aimed at specific subject matters. So it is the teaching of specific genre, usually of technical or scientific English, for students with specific goals. The reasons why people study English for specific purposes is because they want to perform better in a globalized economy. They want to manage international teams, they want to progress in an English-speaking company, or they want to succeed in multilingual environments. Some examples of specific English for specific purposes are English for academic purposes, or, as you can see here, English for the hotel and catering industries, for example. These English courses include the vocabulary and terminology that students need to be using in specific contexts. In order to do that, a thorough analysis of what the students need is necessary. So it is necessary to know the language required in the area of knowledge they're interested in, a needs analysis to understand exactly what it is that the students are expecting, what they have and what they need in order to succeed in the future, and then a knowledge of subject matter specialists, relation with them in order to make sure that all the vocabulary and all the needs are met. So, for example, the learner language needs become the course objectives, right? So we're talking about courses designed specifically to meet the needs of the learner by means of target needs, goal-oriented, process needs, which are learning needs, which are going to lead to these target needs. So they can be highly focused, as for example, how to read documents, or more widely expressed, as for example, the learning of different settings to be able to manage international teams or international situations. Right. They have to be detailed in depth because they need to explain as much as possible how specific this course is going to have to be. What scenarios is the language going to be used in? What language knowledge and skills are necessary in these types of contexts? So needs analysis is combined with the language level. Because you need to know how much your student knows, what is the level of proficiency of students in order to be able to help them reach the level of proficiency that they required or they expect to reach. The assessments should focus on the areas the learner will be using the language in. It should be scenario specific, so it's not only a matter of knowing how much English they know, it's a matter of knowing how much English they know in that specific context. Also, it is necessary to know the expectations of the learner in the courses. ESP has some absolute characteristics. For example, it is defined to meet specific needs of the learners using a specific methodology and activities, the same of the discipline it's aimed at. And it focuses on the language appropriate for these activities in terms of grammar, vocabulary, and so on. But also they can be variable and designed for specific disciplines and therefore needing a different methodology from that of general English or from that of just the language that we are used to teach. Usually these courses are designed for adult or advanced or intermediate learners. The features of the courses is that they use authentic material, they're purpose related, And they use role play and use this given scenarios, as we have said before, where the student is going to have to use this language. But also they include a certain degree of self-direction, teaching students how to learn on their own. In the curriculum design should be included the abilities required for communication, the vocabulary specific for the subject matter, and the development of materials for it. An example of an ESP course would be, after an analysis of needs, we find out, for example, that the objective is writing reports, or it is one of the objectives, one of the abilities that the person will have to have. So the activities included for this course should include writing to your audience formal language as compared to informal language in terms of register style or verbs, connecting ideas, the use of connectors or clauses, format, expressing key ideas, for example, summarizing or concluding, and then using real set case studies. So situations that the students will have to face when they use the language. So students will also have to be able to describe technical issues in plain English, therefore understand these technical issues, understand people in specific work scenarios and unpredictable situations, and then understanding business and industry-specific jargon as well as scientific jargon, abbreviations, acronyms, dealing with phrasal verbs or collocations, and knowing and understanding different contexts, different cultures, different Englishes, that the existence of different Englishes that they're going to have to face in the future. So thank you very much for listening. This was a presentation about English for specific purposes, also known as ESP.